Marjorie Taylor Greene is not our representative. The day before Trevor's appeal hearing, where they were going to give the decision, she called for every resolution and every bill in the House that day to have a roll call vote, so they would just put them off. And they didn't have to do that on Trevor's. This was a call for Putin to release an American Marine. But she called for a roll call vote. It got put off to the next day, where they rolled them all into one roll call vote, and her cronies and that small group of idiots voted against it. So you voted for Putin?
So, at every corner when we ask, could the Republicans stoop any lower, we continue to be baffled. And it's just, just literally everything they do is ridiculous. Now, why is it that Marjorie Taylor Greene and others would vote against a bill to free American, military prisoners from Russia? Well, because it's something that the Democrats support. And anything that the Democrats support, we can't have it. But what does that really show? It shows that they're not thinking about issues at all. They're literally not thinking about anything. I mean, how are you the party that's always supposed to be in support of the military and individualism and pulling yourself up and all that mess, but you vote against something like this? You vote against everything that supports the middle class. You vote against everything that could actually reflect that you have principles that you say you stand on. But again, they're too partisan and they got nothing going on up here.
To a certain extent, there was a certain apathy that Trevor described in the Russian government with some of our elected officials, because if it's not about them getting a vote, they're too busy to deal with it. And this is an American issue, not Trevor, but all the other Americans that are in a situation. We used to go to war over these things, and now it's lucky if we get news time about it. And they need to start bringing all of our Americans home that are taken, like Trevor was.
And guys, the scariest part is that Marjorie Taylor Greene is not a one-off. More people like her are going to get elected federally and at local levels. As the Republican Party continues to criminalize abortion, as they continue to take away our access to voting, as they've been busted in Florida and Michigan for literally committing fraud in the process, because the party just continues to get more and more bogus, more and more authoritarian, and more just on the side of taking the democratic process away from all of us. This will not improve quickly. This is going to be a slow process, but like I always point out, this has to be something that we're on the forefront of, because it's easy to point our fingers and say, look how crazy Marjorie Taylor Greene and her ilk is. But like I said, many more of them are on their way into office as we speak.
I'm going to go to every single one of their campaigns and thank them personally about that. So
thank them for hurting your ability to get out of prison?
Yeah, thank them for voting against a bill that was only about getting American political prisoners out of Russia. How do you justify that? That's embarrassing to me that anyone who represents the United States would vote against something, like that. I'm sure that the Russians loved that.
We got to get these people the hell out of office, guys. And one of the things that actually, in terms of the silver lining, just as I've been working in politics over the last handful of years, doing this and that, working with campaigns, talking to a lot of people, just getting my experience up. One thing that I have come to see is that when people come together, things happen. And it's easy to get discouraged and say, well, look at the losses that progressives take. But no, look at the wins that progressives just had, especially in Pennsylvania in these last rounds of Pennsylvania and Oregon in these last, midterm rounds. But look at what people can do when they come together and they get things evil accomplished. Look at what the Republican Party is able to do when they stick together. Look at the things that people have been able to do, again, whether it's for the good or the bad. So for me, I just feel more empowered. I feel like I have a responsibility to encourage you, to encourage everyone in my life to get more involved. And I think that you have the same responsibility as well. And that's why I talk about this so much, because we have more power than we realize. And if we just get active, we just talk about things, make our issues known, get out here in these streets and support people and just help your neighbor, it really, really makes the biggest difference. And it really does go the longest way. So that's how I want to close this out as I close out most of my videos. One is, look at how crazy Marjorie Taylor Greene and the Republican Party is, but look at what we can do about it.